What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Ghost Mountain channel. Today we're taking a look at 6 ARC. So what we have here today is an AR-15 chambered in 6 ARC. This is a full build provided by Lantac for this video. Thank you, Lantac. It has a proof carbon barrel. I don't know what's different about it. Maybe some of you out there will know what the difference is and you can comment that. But this particular barrel is one that they did for a military contract run. Supposedly it's supposed to have better barrel life. I don't actually know. So maybe if there's more info on that, one of you guys can drop it in the comments. Out front here, I do have a Dead Air Lazarus 6. This is a 6mm can, so we're shooting it with a 6mm cartridge. The gun itself, this is how it came. It came with the Geisley trigger, came with the Magpul PRS light. The only thing I changed out was a Driven Arms Co. grip because I like the little thumb shelf. And then I put a Driven Arms Co. short stop out here in case you have to shoulder it, or more realistically, as a barricade stop, you can press into a wall and put some tension on that. I do have an MGT double pull bipod out front. I have a EOTech Voodoo 5-25 up top with a Tremor 3 reticle sitting in a zero gravity mount. And then I have a Flatline Ops bubble level over here. That's everything that's on this gun. There's a ton of videos already out on 6 ARC, and a lot of people have done ballistics gel and all this other stuff. So really the main thing I wanted to do, other than group this gun, shoot this gun, see how it does, I wanted to compare it to 5.56 a little. So this is a 5.56 gun, also an 18-inch barrel. Mainly because I have shot this gun a little bit. I zeroed it and put a couple mags through it the other day, and when I was shooting steel, it hits steel so much harder, and I think that's kind of a cool comparison to 5.56. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group this gun, show you how it groups, and then I'm going to be shooting the same targets, 5.56, 6 ARC, so we can see what the difference is in the holds or what you need to dial, and then we can hopefully hear a difference in how hard this is hitting compared to this when we get out to further distances, because I thought that was a pretty cool thing to hear the first time I went out and shot this gun. Before we go any farther, guys, we do have to take a quick second to thank the sponsors of today's video. The first sponsor being Lantac. They sent out the rifle for us to use. They're one of the OGs of really gnarly muzzle brakes. They make all those muzzle brakes to work with silencers now, which is awesome. Don't forget to check Lantac out. Second sponsor of today's video is going to be Phantom Defense Ammo. The guys at Phantom Defense are awesome. They make a ton of precision rounds. They are currently, as we're filming, working on a 6 ARC round. It may be out by the time I post this. The guys at Phantom Defense are awesome, and they make some really killer ammo. So go check out Phantom Defense Ammo. The next sponsor of today's video is going to be Gallatin's Gun Shop. They're a Salt Lake City local gun shop. They've been around for 100 years. They just opened the e-store side of their business. So go check out Gallatin's Gun Shop. They are awesome. We have a lot of videos coming with them. Last but not least, we have Silencer Shop as a sponsor of today's video. It is much easier to buy a silencer than you think. Go check out Silencer Shop. They walk you through the whole process. They have kiosks and stores all around the nation. They make it really, really simple to buy a silencer. All right, so we're getting set up to 0 here. One thing I did want to mention is that today I'm going to be shooting all Hornady factory ammunition. I wanted something that was going to be super common, and I think Hornady is probably one of the most common, like, precision ammos. So the 5.56 and the 6 ARC, we're shooting factory Hornady ammunition that most people would probably have or shoot, or at least have access to. So as I'm loading this mag, we can talk a little bit about 6 ARC. There's a million videos on way more info than I'm going to go into, so if you want all the detailed info, just go watch some of those videos. The main thing I wanted to address is it seems like it's a really cool round. I don't have a whole lot of experience with it. The one thing I do hate is that these mags are so expensive. It did look like Duramag was coming out with some cheaper options, but these Geisley mags are right now, as of the time I'm filming this video, the only real option for a straight mag or straighter mag. The other ones are super curved, super ugly. I won't do that. So for the straight mags, Geisley mags are pretty much the only option, and they're expensive. The big mag I have over there was $135. So hopefully that's something they can figure out soon. All right, let's start grouping here. We're shooting at 100 meters. I'm gonna group just to the right of one of these stickers. I'm gonna go take a look at that group. So we're looking at our first group here. That tape sticker is roughly 1 inch. So that is definitely a sub MOA group. So what I did here is I held my hash mark. I held one hash mark over on the side of the tape so that my group would be off tape, so we could use the ballistic app to measure that a little easier. But I can already say someone that's better at shooting than me would group even better. So this gun is shooting lights out with this ammo right now. So we've got one group down and it looks really good. We're gonna do one more 5-round group with this gun before we set up some steel, start taking some shots a little further. I might have pulled that one. All right, so we got our second group down. Let's check it out. Here's the second group I shot. This one, way high. That was definitely me. But as you can see, with the two groups, this is a well grouping gun. Take out that flyer, which I know you guys are gonna say, you gotta leave flyers, but realistically, if we were doing this correctly, we'd be grouping it 10 or 20 times to see what the average group size was, but we're not. We grouped it twice, 5-round groups. Both of them, in my opinion, are great groups. That flyer is definitely me. So as we take a look at the groupings here in the ballistics app, the first 5-shot group was 0.765 MOA, just over 3/4 of an MOA, which is, for a gas gun, that's pretty sick. The second group, including my very obvious flyer, 5-shot group again, was 1.7 MOA. So I feel like there's no question that that was my fault. If we take out the flyer, which I know you're all gonna bitch about, so just bitch about it in the comments so I get the analytics from it. The 4-shot group minus the flyer is a 0.652 MOA. This gun shoots really, really well. A better shooter than me could be much more consistent than I am with it. That's pretty cool to see, especially first rounds out of the gun. I'm not giving it a break-in period. I'm not letting the barrel foul or anything like that. We're just shooting it. I think it's time to set up some steel and start walking this back some distances. So we've got our piece of steel set up, and what we're gonna do is we are going to leave that steel in that spot and keep driving further and further so we get all the different distances. We're at 300 meters right now. I figured that was a good place to start because that's not far here in Utah, but that's probably the max of, or past the max of a lot of people's ranges in different states. The elevation at least in my ballistic app, the elevation I was told to dial is 1.4. So on the 6 arc, it's a 1.4. We're gonna shoot it at 300. We're shooting at a half human size torso, basically, so a body mass target. It's a big target. Generally, we're shooting at like an 8 or 12-inch plate, but that one rings really good. And since we already know how the guns group, the Mark 12 from the previous video I did and this one from earlier in this video, we're not looking at grouping. We're really listening for how it sounds different impact wise, because this one is going to hit a lot harder. There's a lot more energy going down range. And then we're also looking at what we have to dial, so you can see realistically the main difference is, other than stopping power, the main difference is that people will be dealing with shooting targets and whatnot. I don't know why, but I set this target up in a spot that is probably not going to have much splash. It blends right into the rocks I put it in front of. So I'm already dialed. I'm just going to take a shot. So you can see at 300, this gun's easily usable, if that's how you want to say it. And it rings real loud. So we're going to switch to the Mark 12. Hear the difference in the ring. All right, now we've got the Mark 12 on the tripod. The dial for that is also 1.4. So right now, identical elevation dials. It is nice having that ARCA rail from LRT Manufacturing on the bottom of that, so we can actually run it on this tripod. So shout out to those guys, because they sent me that rail to try it out. So we're just holding dead on. We're dialed 1.4. So basically same from here. When we go back further, you're really gonna see the 5.56 start to struggle more with wind. It's gonna get pushed around more. Just a heavier bullet cuts through the wind so much nicer. So, and then also it will keep a lot more energy downrange because it's so much bigger of a bullet. We're back at 500 meters now. This is where we'll probably start to see wind come more into play for some of these rounds. And like we said earlier, this target's huge, so it's not going to affect it a ton, but it is definitely going to be more relevant, especially for that 5.56 compared to this 6 arc. So I'm dialed right now. The ballistic calculator had me dial 3.4 mils for this gun at 500 meters. Also, I can't remember if I said it earlier. The muzzle velocity on this is like 26 something. I'll go back and read what I actually put in, but that will be information that would probably be beneficial to you guys and I shouldn't forget about. All right, so wind already coming into play. I was just off the right edge there. So we're switching to 5.56, which the hold is 3.6, so we're already seeing a slight variance in what the dope is telling us to do. We're going to hold left edge on this one right off the bat. Those last two hit?
Your fourth one was a miss high right.
High right, okay.
That last one, I think, was a hit.
Okay.
Yeah, hit, impact.
All right, so again at 500, pretty similar. If the wind was higher, you'd be dealing with a little more with this one, but we are starting to see an elevation difference as far as what you need to dial already at 500, which is, in the scope of things, pretty close.
Nice. This gun's sick. There we go. Okay, a couple of misses there.
That was 2 hits, but honestly there's so much mirage.
Yeah.
It's hard to see through the phone.
Yeah.
The brake's too loud, I can only hear the last hit. So get a suppressor. Hey Allen Engineering, you're right down the street from me. Let's talk about a can for that gun.
Yeah, for real. The brake is nice though. I mean, what are those 73s or?
Yeah, 73s, and those are 108s out of the 6 arc.
Okay, so huge bullet weight difference, and then can versus brake. But I mean, even still, that one doesn't move much.
Yeah.
I mean, that one is noticeably softer, but
When you're proned out like this, recoil is, I'm not going to say irrelevant because it's not, but it's much less relevant than if you're standing or on a tripod or something like that. But the 6 arc does obviously like twice the bullet size almost, depending on what you're shooting. It just recoils way more than 5.56, which could theoretically make follow-up shots easier, or harder, sorry. But also because it's fighting wind less, maybe that counteracts the ease in quick follow-up shots. I don't know.
yeah, it's going faster and it's a heavier bullet, so it's higher BC, right?
Yeah, this is like this was a 2.64, I think it had me put in, and that was a 3.
Okay.
You know what I mean.
Yeah.
Aaron Sizzle's shooting with us today, by the way. We didn't say that earlier.
Hi.
All right, let's go back to like 750.
Okay.
We're at 740.8 meters. We were gonna go for 750, but you can't see the target from that spot. Oh, I need to get my bag, my rear bag. So for 750, it wants me to dial 6.5, and I'm sure you'll be able to see in the cell phone camera, the mirage is pretty gnarly right now, but it is giving us a clear left to right. So I'm gonna hold 1 mil left.
No call on that one.
Yeah, me neither. All right, I'm gonna hold dead on. Well, no, I'm gonna hold left edge. Well, I'm not hitting it. I just can't tell where I'm not hitting it. I'm gonna hold 2 mils left now.
You were hold 1.5 mils left.
1.5. Okay. Elevation was all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
No call. Send another one at 1.5. There you go.
Oh, there's an impact.
There you go.
All right.
First one was low, second one impact.
So as you can clearly see, wind is already pushing it, or not already, we're at 740 meters. Wind's pushing us around quite a bit. And there's so much mirage, it's honestly hard to see impacts, and we're not in a spot where there's good splash. I set up the target in a really good spot. So already proving pretty difficult with the 6 arc. So we're gonna switch to 5.56 and hope that we get an impact at all, really, I think. So on this 5.56, I'm dialing to 7.2. So not only are we gonna be pushed around by the wind quite a bit more, we're also seeing a significant change in what elevation we're needing. I'm just gonna start off right off the bat, holding 1.5.
No call.
No call. All right, I'm gonna hold 2 mils. And by holding, I'm meaning I'm dialed for elevation. I'm holding 2 mils for wind.
Send another.
This bullet's so small we can't even see any splash now.
Try holding 3 mils left.
Okay.
Go and get crazy. Dang, still no.
I feel like I heard rocks. I'm gonna do 4. Okay, I'm definitely hitting the big rock. So we're within 15 feet of it. Because I can hear rock. Well, I don't know where to go from there. Can't tell where I'm hitting. So there's nothing to adjust. Nothing.
Looks like I'm looking at a puddle.
Yeah, this is tough shooting conditions as far as being able to make adjustments, because there's no splash, there's tons of mirage, and we're far enough away that these tiny projectiles, you know, it's not helping at all to have a tiny little 5.56 that isn't going to make much splash to begin with. Well, this just seems like a giant waste of ammo. I mean, we had impacts with the 6 arc and we had no impacts that we could tell with the 5.56. So right now, obviously, 6 arc's way better. All right, we are back at 1,006 meters. The dope is saying 10.6 mils. Let's see if we can even spot a miss. There is so much mirage.
No call. Ooh,
Oh,
see that?
low
That
left?
was low right.
Or low right? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Heard something. I think it was rocks though.
Go back to your same hold where we saw low left or low right.
Okay, wind's definitely picking up down here now. I think that was an impact.
I think so too. Okay, you were maybe 2 feet low on that. Good windage.
Oh,
Ooh, just under target.
I guarantee these mics aren't going to pick it up. But the fact that we're even seeing splash and getting close, I guarantee when we switch to that Mark 12, we're not going to get that. I'm probably gonna shoot like 10 rounds through that Mark 12 and that's it, because it's a waste of money at this distance right now. And I'm not saying 5.56 can't be done at 1,000 yards. It can be done. I've done it. He's done it.
So true.
It's just not a realistic, super consistent in bad conditions. If conditions are perfect, it can be consistent. But when it's windy like this and it's picking up and slowing down and changing directions, good luck.
That was an impact.
All right. Oh, that one was low, right?
I think that was another impact.
All right, so we're getting impacts at 1,000.
It's a faint ding.
Yeah. I mean, really, we just need a less windy day to hear it better, is all.
Yeah, and some consistent feedback.
Yeah. We need to find a spot that has better splash. All right, we've got the Mark 12 out now. I'm not confident we're gonna hit or be able to tell anything with this. We took the spotting scope camera down because you can't see anything, and you can see better through the spotting scope than through the phone through the spotting scope. All right, 12.2 mils at 1,000 is what it's telling me. Nothing yet?
Nothing.
Okay.
Okay. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was holding dead on for that.
Okay. So come up like
It's like 2 mils.
nothing.
All right. Yeah, that's it.
Hey,
That's
we finally saw a splash.
yeah, we did see splash, but it was 3 mils low. All right, that's it for today. I will say, despite not getting super consistent hits at 750 and 1,000, we did get hits with the 6 arc. We did not get hits that we know of with the 223 5.56. So for me, I already know I would take that gun. Obviously, it's a little different because I have a lot of time behind my guns and in this environment, so I know what I'm looking for. And to me, the 6 arc is definitively better. It's a heavier bullet, better ballistic coefficient. Everything about it makes it a more capable cartridge than 223 or 5.56 in the same platform. So if that's what you're looking for, it's great. If you're plinking and you only have 500 yards and in to do it in because of the environment you live in, there might not be a need for 6 arc. So keep that in mind when you take into account the extra cost for expensive mags, expensive barrels, expensive bolt heads that may or may not break. Everything about 6 arc is a little more expensive. I think it is obviously a better, much more capable cartridge. It just depends on if that's worth it to you in your environment and with what you're doing. If you're just target shooting and you have a 300-yard range, 223, plenty good all day long. And since we didn't touch on it earlier, I'm gonna say it now. These are 18-inch barrels, both of them. The 6 arc with an 18-inch barrel, we are getting 2,605 feet per second. Ballistic coefficient is 0.3. Out of this 18-inch barrel, this is 223 5.56, both 18-inch barrels. Out of this one, we're getting 2621 feet per second, but the ballistic coefficient is 0.234. So that one is getting a tiny bit more muzzle velocity with the ammo we're using today, but this one has a better ballistic coefficient, and it's going to be more resistant to wind. And I think we pretty definitively, might be hard to tell on camera, but we pretty definitively showed that today by getting hits with this one out to 1,000 and that one not getting hits at 1,000, not getting hits at 750. So that's it for the video. Hopefully that was at the very least entertaining. I wish we had some better shooting conditions where we could see some splash and had less mirage, but it is what it is. This is what we were dealing with today, and the 6 arc outshone the 223 5.56, which was expected, obviously. Honestly, I don't really know what to say to close this other than this is a very interesting round. I am definitely going to keep playing with it. I have a few different barrel lengths coming. I'm going to try it in a bolt action. I do think it's a very capable, cool caliber. You could have this caliber in a 14.5-inch gun and basically replace your 18-inch SPR setup with a 223, so you can have a smaller package and a heavier hitting bullet. with the shorter barrel, and I think that's pretty cool. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the comments. Check us out at ghostmountaingroup.com, Ghost MTN Group. We've got some merch there for you guys to pick up, and we'll see you on the next one.